So it's really important to me to make one connection here, because if we've said something that makes you think a culture of accountability and execution is not important, we have really misspoke. Because I don't care if you are one woman, Monet Productions LLC, accountability and execution is actually part of my problem right now. But or whether you're Jan Monet, SVP of Freescale Semiconductor, accountability and execution is table stakes. The point is that you can get a culture that thrives on accountability and execution without fear, without intimidation, without an environment where you're not learning and able to speak up, where all voices can be heard. And in fact, I am absolutely positive that you get better accountability and execution when you do lead in an environment when all voices can be heard, when the truth is told, and where you can focus on the future and where you focus on what's going right, and all those kinds of things lead to better accountability and execution and will help you with your next analyst call. All right, but I will tell you, for about 2 years, I was a part of a team that wrote the CEO's speech for the analyst call, and it does make you see the world quite differently all of a sudden.
Thank you.
Jan mentioned work-life balance, and I actually don't believe in balance. I think
I said integration.
well, it is integration, and I know how you mean, but a lot of the world knows that it is work-life balance. But we all have our own kind of balance. It's like, for me, it's like little chickens. It's like a chicken crossing the middle of the road. It's only something they do when they absolutely have to. So when I'm out, I'm very extroverted. I know lots and lots of people, and I spend about 60% of my time there. But my basic nature on the Myers-Briggs, 49% introvert, 51% extrovert. The other 40%, I am on the far side of the road. And if you think it's not hard for me to leave the private and come into the public, or leave the public and come into the private, it is. And I have to do it. A strategy of mine for 18 years. And this goes back to the choice question, the making the decision. If you cannot choose what you're going to keep or go for, or what you're going to eliminate, you cannot create a strategy. And that's the reason so many companies and people now call strategies goals, vision, pie in the sky, anything but a strategy. And I've got a handout that I'm happy to put on your listserv, wherever it is. I just did a presentation on this about what I think a real strategy is, and Jan had some input for that. But here's the deal. I don't know how many of you work for publicly held companies at that level, but at some point you have to decide what the exchange is. When I moved to Austin in the end of 2003, I made a decision to leave my corporate career behind. It meant I was going to cut my income down 2/3. But what I kept was my wellness. What I gained was a ton of time with what's now two, was one then, little Grandboyce, my only daughter-in-law I've ever had, who lost her mom and never got her back at 18 months, and I was able to finally have a daughter and to be with my two sons, and our whole family converged in Austin on purpose. She's a native here. So I had to make that decision. Did I want to play with the big boys and the big hitters and get swatted at the same time? Or did I want a career that was still well above 6 figures, but was not the 6 figures I was used to bringing home? Did I need it, or did I need most of my life back? And it's a hard decision. And if you're the sole breadwinner, we have to have a different conversation.